The next thing we want to do is have the game start when the player clicks on the click here to start sprite. So if you remember from the intro video, when you click on the click here to start sprite, it plays a sound, and then the background music starts to play, and the first maze appears on the screen, and the purple sprite appears on the screen, and the end sprite appears on the screen. So we have a lot of things to do to get the game set up to start the first level. And the first thing we want to do, or the first trigger event that we need to program, is when the user clicks on the click here to start sprite. So if we go ahead and click on that sprite, click here, what we can do is go over to events, and we can grab the when this sprite clicked. Okay. Now when this sprite clicked doesn't connect to any other blocks, it just sits there on its own. So we're going to put it right here, and whenever the click here sprite is clicked on by the mouse, any code blocks that you put underneath are going to execute, right, or are going to happen. So what do we want to happen when the click here sprite is clicked? So first thing we want to do is we want to switch the backdrop. Okay, or no, I guess the first thing we want to do is play the sound. Now if you go over to the sounds tab, right, we have code tab, costumes tab, we got sounds tab. You can see that I already placed this once again sound effect or sound file, and also this connect sound effect. Now if I play the connect sound effect, it's a select sound, right? And that's the sound we're going to use for when you click on the button. The once again sound effect is the background music. Alright, so let's go ahead and come over here to the code, and if we go to sound, we can say play sound until done. Okay, so that's going to play the sound, and once it's finished, then it's going to move on to the next coding block that we put here. So we can go ahead and test that. I click on it, right? Okay, and so after the sound plays, then we want the maze to appear, the first maze to appear. So how can we make that happen? Well, there's no code block that says when this sprite here is clicked, make the maze show. Because remember, we made this block, this sprite, and this sprite all hide on the green flag. So there's no code block that says, okay, when this sprite here is clicked, make this sprite show. But so what we need is a broadcast message. And we're going to broadcast a message when this sprite is clicked, and after it's finished playing the sound, we are going to go to events, and we're going to broadcast a message. Now this message, we're going to click on the arrow here next to the message 1. We're going to say new message, and we're going to call it start game. So when this broadcast message is sent out, that's a signal to all the other sprites and the backdrops that the game has started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the maze, and I'm going to say when I receive the start game broadcast. So when that broadcast happens over here on click here, then I'm going to make the maze show. So I can come over here and I could show, and now if I hit the green flag and then I click on the start button, it shows the maze. Right? So that was a little bit too fast for me, right? That happened a little too fast, where I clicked on the sprite, it played the sound until it was done, and then it broadcasted start game. Then the maze showed, right? Because maze is saying, oh, when I receive the start game broadcast, that's when I'm going to show. So that happens after you click on the click here to start button. So that happened a little too fast for me. So I'm going to go to control, and I'm going to get a wait, and I'm going to go ahead and in between the play sound and the broadcast, I'm going to put wait 0.5 seconds. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So that looks a little bit better to me. And in addition to starting the game, right? We also want to play the background music. So how do we do that? Well, the background music is here. It's called Once Again. And if I go to my code, I go to the sounds section, and then I go to start sound right here. And I don't want to play connect, so I'm going to click on the arrow and say play once again. But the way that I have this set up is it's going to play once again once, right? But I don't want it to play once. I want it to play once, and when it finishes, play again, and when it finishes, play again, and when it finishes, play again. So I don't want to use the start sound. What I want to do is use the play sound until done. So I'm going to say once again, play it until done. And I'm also going to use a forever loop. So what is this going to do? This is going to play the song until it's done. And when it's finished, come back into the forever loop and execute the block again. And it's going to play once again until it's done. So this is going to make the song play over and over and over again until the game is finished. Okay. So let's go ahead and stop there. And the challenge exercise here would be to make the other sprites show when you click on the Start Here button, and to also make the backdrop switch to the in-game backdrop. Right? So the in-game backdrop is transparent and it shows white with the maze on top. So let's keep that as our challenge exercise.